When you go to create your first Xcode project, you're greeted with a possibility to choose 5 templates. Now these 5 templates are the starting base to any application. Now throughout this course we're generally going to be using a single view application. Now the reason for this is because basically think of a single view application as a blank canvas. All the other templates that you can see can all be created by using a single view application. Whereas the other ones have slight modifications just to justify different parts of applications that you could possibly create. As you can see here, a single view application, this is simply, it provides a starting point of an application that uses a single view, and it provides a view controller to manage the view and a storyboard file to basically create the interface for it. Now all this is basically a blank canvas. It's the most basic template that you can start with. And at various points in the course, when we learn about the different features and abilities we can create within our applications, that's when we will use a different template. But the ones we got here, our single view here, we have the ability to use a tabbed application, where this simply provides a starting point which uses a tab bar, which is a form of navigation. Now a tab bar application, you would have seen, for example, the app on your device, the App Store, where you have the different sections at the bottom where you can change from the featured, the most downloaded, even to the search, and even to your updated section. What you're controlling at the bottom of your device on the application is a tab bar, and that project itself, the App Store, has been used with a tab bar application. Then we have a page-based application. This is basically provides the starting point of a page-based app which provides a page view controller. Now you would have seen these in applications such as books, where you finish reading the page and you swipe left to right to reveal the next page within the book. That's basically using a page-based application, and it has an indicator at the bottom to basically indicate what page you're on. Most commonly you would have seen it on your actual device itself when you're swiping left to right to view all the apps that you have on your device, and then you have that indication at the bottom to tell you which screen you're on. That is basically a page-based application. Then we have a master detail application. This is most commonly seen with if you're using your mail application on your iPad, maybe you got it in landscape, where you have a table view to the left displaying all your emails, then you select one, and on the right it displays that selected email in more depth within a view controller. This is a master detail application, as it splits the controller to display a list of items and a detail view. We also have the ability to create a game template. This is the starting point to creating a game using the Cocoa 2D Touch frameworks to simply create simple and basic game applications. Now, like I said before, throughout this course we're going to be using a single view application. Now all these other templates can be created with the single view application. So just think of the single view application as a blank piece of paper where you can design and create your applications all from within it. So to create our first project, we're simply going to select the template that we want, simply go to next, and then we're going to give our product a name. Now by giving it a name doesn't define your application's name itself. This is just purely for creating a project and we referenced within a folder on your computer. So don't think about giving your product name the actual name that's going to basically be displayed on the App Store, because we come to configure that when we go to basically prepare and publish it to the App Store. So this is just for the project name itself. So I'm going to simply name it My First App. The organisation name is either yourself or your business name or company's name that you're using to develop with. The organisation identifier, as we talked about this before previously when we created our application IDs, you just reverse domain, your com dot, either your developer name or your company name. At the moment it's just set to Steve Jobs because that's what we created in our previous lecture on application IDs, which then generates its own bundle identifier, which you can change in the project itself. Then the language you're developing for. Now, as this full comprehensive course covers both Objective-C and Swift, you can simply toggle it and select which language you want to choose from. I'm going to leave it by default on Objective-C, but we cover both topics and both languages within this course. Then devices, already pre-selected is universal. You can select this to change it to iPhone or iPad. Now don't think if you select it for solely iPad that you can't create it for iPhone. You can change this feature and this setting within the project when it's created to make your applications universal if you first haven't selected it to be universal. And vice versa, if you have selected universal, you can change it to solely be iPhone or iPad. So by default, we'll leave it to universal, and then we have the option which at the moment is untoggled to use core data. Now we're not going to select this initially, but as we progress further on the course and we learn about how to use core data and to create databases, in those lectures, that's when we're going to toggle to use core data, as it has extra kind of configurations to the project when it's created. So now we're going to press next and create our project. And once we create it, it generates our project into Xcode's own view. Now at first it may look a bit daunting and confusing if you see the first time you're using Xcode, and a lot on the screen needs to be taken in. For example, on the left here we have where all our classes are handled. In the middle is our main interface for Xcode itself, and on the right handles stuff like adding objects to our view and the attributes inspector with the connections. That handles everything on the interface. Now in the next coming lectures we're going to be breaking down each part of the Xcode view itself and talk about the individual features as you can learn more about it. And as you progress further on through the course, Xcode will become a second nature to you and you'll understand it in greater detail. And we start by, in the next lecture, talking about the different classes that get generated within our projects.